welcome. Today we are taking a full look at the Siren MAULR. But before we get into the video, they did reach out and send me this blaster, and this video is sponsored by NSI, the company behind Siren. Let's dive right in. So this has the same type of packaging that was seen on the MAULR, and I think it's pretty cool packaging. To get to the Siren MAULR, we're just going to pull away these green clips. Again, just like the MAULR, it is pretty easy to do. And with all the clips opened up, we can lift this up for the presentation. So in the box, we of course get the Siren MAULR itself. We get 10 of the Siren darts, sight pieces. We get the eye protection, which is very important, the 10-round magazine, and of course, the instructions. I think these Siren darts are pretty cool. They have nice soft tips, but they are quite a dense foam. After sitting in a magazine for a while, these are not gonna go soft and cause a jam. They also are not hollow, evident by the lack of hole in the back. Of course, loading the magazine is pretty straightforward. You follow the arrow and the darts load up very nicely. This included magazine does have a max capacity of 10 rounds, but of course the blaster is compatible with other Siren magazines and Talon style magazines, which is great. Now the front sight is Picatinny, so we can just slide it right on this Picatinny rail, but the rear one actually clips in. So if we line it up on top of the blaster and press down, it does lock in pretty well. And I do like the sights on this blaster. Now let's go over the Siren MAULR. Starting off, like I mentioned earlier, we do have a single Picatinny style rail up on top, and on it I do have the included front sight piece. If we go to the left side of the blaster, we do have the safety. In the upper position, you are safe, and in the lower position, you're ready to go. Right back here, of course, we have the magazine well, and the magazine release, instead of being back here, is actually up front, which is definitely kind of interesting, but works surprisingly well. Like the MAULR, the blaster does not have to be primed back for you to insert a magazine. Now right up here we do of course have the priming handle, and the MAULR does have slam fire, which is great. And if we look right here, we have one of the most interesting features of the blaster. This is the power selector, and it makes the MAULR very cool. In the all the way forward position, that is your lowest power mode. To switch to the next power mode, we are going to squeeze both sides and slide it down. We have a middle power level and a max power level. As you'll see in a moment, the blaster is very powerful, especially in the max power mode. So now let's put the blaster over the chronograph. We will be using the included Siren darts. We're going to do 3 darts in the lowest power mode, 3 darts in the medium mode, and then the last 4 darts in the max power mode. 190, 183, and 171. That right there is a really great average, especially considering the very light and short prime. Now we're going to try the middle setting. 231, 210, and 232. That is some really spectacular performance. I am very impressed. Now of course we're going to do the last 4 shots on the highest power level. 282, 276, 273, and 282. That is some absolutely incredible performance. We are getting close to 300 FPS with the included darts, and yes, it'll hit this out of the box. This thing is completely bone stock. Also, for being such a powerful blaster, the prime is really not that overwhelming. The blaster is quite easy to use. Now we're going to use a standard Talon-sized magazine with Dart Zone rubies, and we're just going to fire these Dart Zone rubies on the max power. 252. 259, 247, 258, duplicate 258, and 261. So even with the Dart Zone rubies, we are still getting incredible performance. I think out of the box, without buying anything extra, this is the most powerful blaster not only on the market, but of all time. Now let's fire some shots downrange with the Siren MAULR. I did forget to mention the blaster does have slam fire. Now those shots fired really great. We were in the middle setting, but those darts were gone. The overall priming and firing, as well as the slam fire action, are very smooth and work flawlessly. So what are my final thoughts on the Siren MAULR? Overall, I think the blaster is a really fantastic option. Like I mentioned earlier, I think stock, out of the box, this is the most powerful blaster that you can get right now. Being able to hit upwards of 260 feet per second is just crazy. And what has to be my favorite feature of the blaster is the ability to change the power levels so easily. Being able to hit about 180, 230, and upwards of 280 with the very easy flip of a switch is something that we really have not seen before, especially in a blaster at this $39.99 price point. All that is to say, I am very impressed by the MAULR and could definitely recommend it, especially if you are looking for a high-powered, reliable pump-action Springer. It's got a lot of bells and whistles, the performance is there, and it just works really well. I definitely think this one is a winner. If you are interested in the Siren MAULR, I will have the link in my description. Thank you very much for watching. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the Siren MAULR. Definitely let me know if you have any questions about the blaster. Have a good one, subscribe for more, and happy blasting.